Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with a quick updated deck profile, and today I'll be showing you guys my Flower Cardians. So starting off with the Flower Cardian monsters, we have the Free Pine. It's the only normal summon of the deck, and it's your lowest level Flower Cardian, which means it's your main engine starter, and the card you always want to have on field to be able to spam out your other Flower Cardians, since some of the next ones that you'll see do rely on you having a lower level to be able to summon themselves out to the field. Next, we have the Free Zebra Grass. It's able to special summon itself if you control a Flower Cardian with a lower level than itself, and it acts as a magical mallet for Flower Cardians to where you're able to shuffle back Flower Cardian monsters from your hand back into the deck and then draw the same number of cards. Next, we have the Free Willow. Again, can special summon itself if you control a Flower Cardian monster of a lower level than itself. And once per turn, you can shuffle back a Flower Cardian monster from grave back into the deck and then draw one card. Next, only the 2 Palowina. Again, same summoning condition as the previous 2. You can special summon it if you control a Flower Cardian monster of lower level than itself. Its effect is, if it's targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, end the battle phase, and then draw one card. Obviously not as good as the previous 2, which is why I'm only playing 2. Next, for one of our 2 tuners, we have the Free Peony with Butterfly. Must first be special summoned by attributing a Flower Cardian monster you control other than itself. And then when it's special summoned, you get to draw a card, reveal it, and if it's a Flower Cardian, you can basically stack the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck in any order. And then with its tuner effect, if you use this as a synchro material for a synchro summon, you can treat itself and all other synchro materials you control as level 2, which is the main way you're going to build up to your Flower Cardian synchro monsters, which right now we just have a level 6, a level 8, and a level 10. Next, we have the 2 Maple with Deer and the 2 Clover with Boar. Both have very similar effects. Again, must first be special summoned by attributing a Flower Cardian monster you control other than themselves. And then Clover with Boar lets you, when it's special summoned, draw a card and show it. If it's a Flower Cardian, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. Maple with Deer does the same thing, but destroys a spell trap card your opponent controls. Both very nice for being non-targeting removal, but I only play 2 of each, partially to make space for the bit of a link engine that I have in this deck, and also because they're only really useful going second, and I don't want to clog with too many Flower Cardian monsters that are too hard to summon. So 2 of each I think is fine, although you definitely could play 3 of each if you do want to. Next, we have the Free Cherry Blossom with Curtain. Basically, you reveal this, draw a card, and show it. If it's a Flower Cardian monster, you special summon it. Special summon this card and keep the card you drew. If it's not a Flower Cardian, you send both this card and the card you drew to the graveyard. So a bit of a risky effect, but not so much when you play so many Flower Cardian monsters, and you also have a card in Flower Stacking that lets you stack the top 3 cards of your own deck. And then it has another hand effect where you can send it from hand to graveyard and give one of your Flower Cardian monsters an extra 1,000 attack points when it's attacking that turn. So overall, it's just a really good card, another good engine starter along with Pine. Then for the final Flower Cardian monster, we have the 1 Willow Calligrapher. Must first be special summoned by attributing a Willow you control, so a lot more specific to summon, which is why I only play 1. It is a tuner though, which means, again, if it's used as synchro material, you can treat it and all of our synchro materials you control as level 2 to build up to your Flower Cardian synchro plays. If we had any better tuner than this, I may consider not even playing this at all, but since we only have this and the other tuner, it is necessary to play it at least 1, because this deck kind of needs tuners to be able to make its plays. And then speaking of tuners, the final main deck monster we have is the 1 Gofu. Yes, it is limited to 1, but I still find it to be worth playing since it is a just 1 card Deco Talker, which does give you the 2 link pointers to make multiple Flower Cardian synchro monsters. Of course, it is a dark target for a lure if it becomes dead in your hand. And just, Gofu overall is just a really good card. So that's it for the monsters. For spells, we have the Free Flower Gathering. Lets you special summon 4 Flower Cardians with 100 attack points and different names from your deck and attack position. Downside being that you can only summon Flower Cardians the turn that you activate this, and you can only activate 1 Flower Gathering per turn. Really broken card if it goes off, because this plus one of your tuners equals at least a level 8 synchro, if not your big boss level 10 synchro. But it is unfortunately a card that's just asking to get ashed. And if it gets ashed, you're kind of, in trouble, dead in the water there. But it's just too good of a card to not play at 3. It's just ridiculous. Next, we have the Free Flower Stacking. As I mentioned before, lets you basically pick any Free Flower Cardian monsters from your deck with different names and place them on top of the deck in any order. And then During your main phase, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to add back a Flower Cardian monster from your grave back to your hand. So another staple free up that just gets your plays going by being able to stack your deck and recover back resources. Next, we have the 3 Recardination. So it's actually been a while since I've seen this card, actually. So target 1 Flower Cardian monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Then you can special summon 1 Flower Cardian monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. Do keep in mind that you can actually special summon back the card that you just added back to hand with that effect. So do keep that in mind. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard by a Flower Cardian monster's effect, basically the Cardian draw effect, you can then excavate the top 5 cards of your deck and pick 1 spell or trap card amongst them to add to your hand, and the rest get placed back on top of the deck in any order. So the effect when you actually hard draw it or have it in your hand is good on its own, but you mostly want to be able to send this off of a Flower Cardian effect to be able to get what's it called? Curry Bandit effect to get whatever spell you want out of the 5 that you excavate, and then also be able to stack the top of your deck any way you want as well. It's really good. Next, since everything in our main deck is dark, we do have the free Allure of Darkness just to thin the deck out and get to those certain combo pieces we need. Next, we have the free Scapegoat. Again, just kind of here to be able to help us spam out more Link monsters. And this deck is very much fragile, can very much have bricky hands, so Scapegoat can kind of fix that. Just give you 4 free monsters on the board to be able to use for Link plays, and then possibly be able to go into Synchros after that. So, Scapegoat's pretty good. And then for 1-ofs, we just have the 1 Rhoda, and then finally the 1 Soul Charge, which is really ridiculous, even with the new Master Rule 4, if you're able to pull this off in this deck. Just being able to bring back your Synchro monsters, be able to bring back whatever monsters you have in your graveyard pretty much, it's just too good. So that is the 40-card main deck. For the extra, for our Flower Cardian Synchros, we just have the 1 Board Fly, just basically an Abyss Dweller that also gives your Flower Cardians Piercing. The free Light Shower basically turns all your Flower Cardians into Dark Destroyer, can't be destroyed or can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects. And then it also burns your opponent for 1,500 each time they draw for their draw phase. The downside is that during their end phase, you do have to choose between keeping this card's effects and skipping your draw phase, or what is it? You have to either skip your next draw phase or have this card's effects negated until your opponent's next standby phase. Usually you'll choose to skip your draw phase because with Flower Cardians you just have so many drawing and stacking effects anyway to where that won't matter. But yeah, Light Shower is probably the best one because it just makes your Flower Cardians really hard to get over, including yourself, being a 3,000 attacking and 3,000 defending monster. And then for the level 10, we have the 2 Light Flare, just basically a huge Shien. Can negate a spell or trap card once per turn, and then if any of your Flower Cardians battle an opponent's monster and negates that monster's effects during that battle, so it's kind of like a Utopia to Lightning mixed in as well, with a 5,000 attacking body. So yeah, Light Flare is really good if you're able to pull that off. For the links, we have the 2 Link Spider for, of course, the Gofu and Scapegoat combos. The 1 Extract Magician, of course, all your Flower Cardians are Warriors and Dark, so you can easily make this, and potentially bounce back like Kaijus from your side deck back to your hand. So overall, a pretty decent card. The 1 Ib to go along with the Scapegoat combo with 1 monster to have Ib plus Ningirsu for the draw 1. The 1 Mrs. Radiant for your Scapegoat tokens. 1 Proxy Dragon for your Gofu combo. The 1 Deco Talker also for your Gofu combo, and just a good link free that gives you 2 pointers to make 2 more extra deck monsters. The 1 Ningirsu, just a good removal card and also good for your Ib combo. And then for our link 4, we have the 1 Borolo Dragon because it's just annoying for almost any deck to deal with right now. So now to wrap it up with the side deck. Starting us off, we have the 1 Fairy Tale Snow. It's just kind of a neat, sacky monster for this kind of deck, because if it gets sent to the graveyard by a Flower Cardian effect, you just have it there in the graveyard to potentially be able to summon at any time, to of course be able to book a moon an opponent's monster, and it can just be there to just annoy your opponent and be able to chop block their attacks as well. Then we do have a bit of a Kaiju engine to get over annoying monsters. The 1 Gamma Seal, 2 Radiant, 1 Jizukiru, and the 1 Slumber. Radiant's nice because it is a dark target for Allure. And then, just Kaijus and Slumbers, pretty good. For more board wipes, 1 Dark Hole and 1 Regeki. Double Twin Twister to deal with that annoying back row. 3 Robbery of the Warlords. This is a card that I would always side in this deck. Not only because, you're playing a deck entirely of warriors, other than, the link stuff, but also because one of this deck's biggest weaknesses when it's going first is getting kaiju'd. So Robbery of the Warlords, flipping it when you have like a light shower or a light flare on board, just means that big boss monster isn't going to get kaiju'd unless they out the rivalry first. So, rivalry is pretty good for that. And then for the final side card, we had the 2-dimensional barrier, just for your basic Pendulum Magician shenanigans. So that's it for this updated deck profile on my Flower Cardians. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.